Good afternoon, dear parents and students. We'll just wait for the others to join our orientation, okay? And then, once we start our orientation, we are requesting everybody to turn on your camera, okay? Thank you so much. Hello, students. Yes, po, this orientation is recorded. So if ever you missed a part in our orientation, you may watch it again. So you know where, right? So you'll just go to the course tab and look for the orientation, ESC orientation, and click the play button. Okay? So do not worry. Don't worry, my dear, because this one is recorded. Dear parents and students, we are about to start. So may I request everybody to turn on your camera? Okay.
Hindi po siya naka-speaker sir. So, pag nag-speaker po,
Low sound check.
It's okay if you're having a problem with your camera. We understand that. Okay, so while we are waiting for the others to join our orientation today, have you eaten already, grade 7? Have you eaten your lunch? Oh, very good. That's good. Okay, for those who are asking what to do during the orientation, my dear students, you have to listen, okay? Listen to the orientation and later on you would understand what the ESC is about, okay? This one is a very good orientation, all right? So you just relax there while you are listening to our speaker later on, okay? Again, do not worry. This one is recorded. Okay? This orientation is recorded so you can watch this again later. Yes, Gabrielle, do you have a question, dear? Anyways,
Napindutan po, ma'am.
all right, I see. Okay, so students, are you sharing your device with your parent or guardian right now? Are you sharing your device with your parent or guardian? Are you? Okay. Okay, good. Oh, I see, Ben. Anyways, this one is recorded. Okay. All right, dear parents and students, once again, good afternoon and welcome to our orientation on the Education Service Contracting or ESC guidelines. So we would like to thank you all for attending this orientation. This one is this one is crucial, right? So this one is a very important orientation. That's why we're so glad to see you today. Despite of your busy schedule, we really appreciate that you are here in our session or meeting. Okay, so without further ado, let's start this orientation with an opening prayer, and that will be led by Mrs. Jennifer Michael, and that prayer will be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, which will be led by Miss Maria Filipina Apit.
Dear God, we come before you today for the opportunity to connect with our parents and students to let them know everything our ESC orientation. Bless our parents who find time to be with us, even in their busy schedule. Help us use our time wisely and make the most of this opportunity. May you also bless our speaker for today's orientation, Mr. Elmer Sadikon, and teachers who make this program possible. We also ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding throughout the orientation. Please guide us as we answer some queries, questions, and clarification at the end of this program. We humbly lift up everything to you today, Almighty Father. These are all we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Once again, good afternoon, dear parents and students. May I request everyone to please put your right hand on your left chest and sing the national anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, dalas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagandang tutok sa simoy
Thank you, Miss Michael and Miss Happy for leading the prayer and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. And now to welcome all of us in our orientation today, let's have our PLE and computer teacher, Mrs. Nika Robles.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ira.
Thank you, Ms. Ira.
Good afternoon, dear parents and Plassanites. Mr. Elmerante Sadicon, faculty members, students, family, and friends. Welcome to the Pleasant Mount School. We have been waiting for this day to come with high hopes. The Education Service Contracting ESC is a government financial aid program for eligible elementary school graduates who want to pursue their secondary education in private institutions. Their goal intends to democratize and improve access to high quality secondary education. ESC grant begins in the 7th grade and represents a 4-year funding commitment of the government. Beneficiaries of the ESC program receive certificates as evidence of the government's commitment to funding for their education in a private high school as long as they meet the required qualifications as well as the standards for regular promotion to each subsequent school year until they graduate. The world has changed a lot, but one thing has not. Our dedication to your education is unwavering. Working by oneself can be difficult, but keep in mind that you are not doing it alone. Every step of the journey, we will always be there to support you. The ability to work by yourself requires discipline, perseverance, and courage. It will be a difficult path filled with obstacles and the roller coasters of emotions. And believe me, it's difficult for everyone else as well. However, it will not be a hindrance to your future success. Sometimes you will be having a bad day and you will need to get back up. Keep pushing forward and establish goals. Acknowledge and celebrate your achievements. You are smarter than you know, braver than you imagine, and more determined than you realize. Every day, strive to be a better person than you were yesterday. Tough times never last, but tough people do. To keep trying needs great courage. You'll get closer to your goal with every step you take every day. The first step towards winning is believing you can and you will achieve success. Once again, we welcome you to the Plaza Mount School and we hope you have a prosperous school year, dear Pleasanites. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Nika, for welcoming all of us, and not just that, right? So thank you for the very inspiring speech of yours. So those are good reminders to all our students. Okay. So, of course, before we move on to our ESC orientation proper, I would like to acknowledge as well the teachers who are assigned for the attendance, minutes, and documentation of our orientation, and those are Ms. Rose Ann Zuniaga and Mrs. Nika Robles. So the attendance of our parents and students are already recorded in our ClassIn. Okay, so we'll have the data about your attendance. All right, so for the most awaited part of this orientation, of course, we will have our very able, very supportive Principal, Mr. Elmerante Amsadicon, for the ESC orientation proper.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Ira, and a pleasant afternoon to all. How are you, dear students and parents? I hope you're feeling good. So on behalf of our officer in charge, Mr. Gustav Sangalang, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and welcome both the new and old parents of the Pleasant Mount School. Over the past few weeks, we have been working tirelessly towards preparing the school to ensure the school reopens on August 15, 2022, and learning continues through these challenging times. Our school has met the compliance requirements set by the Department of Education for this school year. With that said, we were able to welcome all our learners from preschool to junior high school and have taken into account the need to keep everyone safe from students, staff, and parents. So students have been away from school for a long period of time, and our desire is for them to return to a normal school experience as possible. So this is important for both their well-being and education. I also appreciate very much your presence this afternoon, dear parents and students, for attending our ESC orientation for this school year. I hope that after my presentation this afternoon, you will be enlightened with the terms, conditions, requirements, and legal basis that this ESC orientation grant and subsidy has entailed. Okay, so let's proceed to the business. Okay, so I would like to start with the legal basis that supports the creation of the education service contracting system. And this legal basis consists of the Republic Act and the policy principles. So I'd like to start with Republic Act. Ma'am, excuse po. Nasobrahan po yata. Okay. Yeah. So I'd like to start with Republic Act 6728, otherwise known as the Government Assistance for Students and Teachers in Private Education, or GASPE, which was approved in 1989. So this is a long time ago, dear students and parents, but it was only in 2017 when Pleasant Mount School was finally able to get a certification from the Private Education Assistance Committee. Okay, so from Republic Act 6728, so we also have Republic Act 8545. This is an act that amended Republic Act 6728 to further expunge the EGASP law, or the government assistance to students and teachers in private education, that includes other forms of assistance to students Okay, so this includes other forms of assistance to students and teachers in the private schools. So in other words, they did not only limit the assistance or subsidy given to the students, but they also include subsidy for the teachers in the private schools. Next slide. Okay, so we also have Republic Act 10533, otherwise known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, which further expands to EGASPE in line with the implementation of the K-12 Basic Education Program. So if you still remember their parents, so before we have the 10-year basic education program in the Philippines, which means that we have 6 years in elementary and then 4 years in high school. And we still call our high school classes or levels before as first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. But with the creation of the K-12 basic education curriculum or program, so from first year, so it's now called grade 7, and then second year is now called grade 8, then third year is now called grade 9, and fourth year is now called grade 10. But other than that, this Republic Act 10533 is still added 2 more years in the basic education program, and they are called the senior high school. So after completing the grade 10 in the junior high school program, they still have the grades 11 and 12. However, the subsidy in the senior high school is still extended in the form of senior high school voucher program. Okay, next slide. Okay, so we also have Republic Act 11465 or the 2022 General Appropriations Act or the GAA, which provides the budget for this year's implementation of the program and serves as legal basis for the joint management by the Department of Education and the Private Education Assistance Committee or the PEAC, which serves as the commission department by the Department of Education to scrutinize junior high school which junior high schools interested to participate in the certification status. So you should know, dear parents and teachers, that this program will not be possible without a budget, right? And looking at the second paragraph, it stated there that for the 2022 budget allocation for the education sector, we have 631.77 billion pesos. And this is 6.34% higher as compared to 2021 General Appropriations Act at 594.11 billion pesos, right? So this is too much money, right? So in the part of the education sector, being the agency also given the highest budget, okay, by the government every year, because it is mandated or ordered in our constitution. Okay, next slide, ma'am. Okay, so from the legal basis, from the Republic Acts, we will proceed to the policy principles. So the education service contracting system makes the quality junior high school education accessible by providing financial assistance to deserving elementary school graduates who wish to study in private junior high schools. You should know, dear parents, that as much as possible, the priority for this subsidy should be graduates of the public schools. But if there will be no graduates from the public school in the elementary department who would like to go to a private school like Pleasant Mount School, then our own graduates in the elementary department will be given the slots that are provided for the private schools. So every year, we are given 50 slots, okay? But if the school requests for additional slots and the PEAC grants the request, then there's a possibility that from the 50 usual slots, we can still avail for additional 10, 15, or 20 slots. Okay? Next slide. Okay. So the education service contracting is a concrete demonstration of public-private partnership and education, and this partnership is sought in all levels of the program's operations. It's also in the Constitution of the Philippines that the public and private schools must play complementary role in delivering quality education to all students studying both in the public and private schools. And creating the education service contracting system is one way of giving opportunity or chance for the students from the public school who would like to study in a private school like Pleasant Mount. So we also have the teacher salary subsidy for the teachers teaching in the junior high school. So this TSS or teacher salary subsidy aims to improve the quality of private junior high school teachers by providing a salary subsidy to teachers in the ESC participating junior high schools. So it should be remembered, dear parents and students, that this TSS should only be given to a participating junior high school like Pleasant Mount School. So if a private school offering junior high school program is not an ESC certified school, then their teachers in the junior high school department will not be receiving this TSS. Okay, next slide po. Okay, I also would like to present to you the delineation of roles of the different involved in the grant of the ESC by the Private Education Assistance Committee. Of course, the first is the Department of Education, which commissioned the Private Education Assistance Committee through its National Secretariat to establish a quality assurance certification mechanism that would confirm ESC participating private junior high schools' compliance with DepEd standards for recognition. I'd like to share with you, dear parents and students, that getting a certification status, okay, so is not easy. So we shed blood and tears, right? So for us to be able to get certification status, and this was experienced by our junior high school teachers in Pleasant Mount School, especially those who have been in the school for 3, 4, or 5 or 6 years already. So it took us 4 years, exactly, to be able to complete the requirements before the date of our recertification status. And when we talk of quality assurance certification mechanism, there are many documents, evidence-based documents that we have to prepare to be shown to the members of the certification unit. And we have to satisfy them with all our evidences to ensure ourselves that we'll be able also to get another certification status. So a certified ESC school, therefore, is one which has complied with all DepEd standards, adheres to applicable DepEd policies, and meets the requirements of the self-study procedure prescribed by the PEAC National Secretariat ESC Certification Unit. Okay? So we also have the Department of Education. This is the institutional owner and regulator of the education service contracting and the teacher salary, teachers subsidy or salary programs. So, and our vice president is the current DepEd secretary. We also have the Private Education Assistance Committee, or the PEAC. This is the agency contracted by the Department of Education to administer the ESC and TSS programs. Its executive director is Ms. Rodora Angela F. Ferrer. Yeah, okay. Next slide. We also have the regional program committees. This committee oversee compliance of participating public and private schools in their regions with the policies and guidelines of the GASPE programs of assistance. So aside from the head office in Makati, we also have the regional program committee, which also join the national office in evaluating our papers, requirements, or documents for us to be able to get another certification status. They also resolve problems that may occur and recommend measures to improve program implementation. So in other words, after getting a certification status, and then they still see a problem going on, for example, for one member certified school, then we can expect probably a reminder or a visit, not just from the head office, but also from the regional offices, from the people involved or in charge to monitor a private school having or encountering problems, in as far as administration of the ESC and the TSS programs are concerned. Okay, so the ESC participating junior high schools, like the Pleasant Mount School, is contracted by the government to provide grantees. The grade 7, you dear grade 7 learners, are the grantees for this school year 2022-2023. So with education that meets or exceeds the minimum standards set by the Department of Education, I believe that the Pleasant Mount School, with of course the huge help of our teachers and administration, provide quality education to our students, considering the trainings in service, summer in service training, and mid-school year in service trainings, plus the trainings provided by the different publications, all resulted to the quality education quality instructional strategies and techniques by our teachers. And that gave us a very good result of 3, which is second to the highest in as far as ratings of the school is concerned. So on your part, dear students, you also have to exert huge effort, particularly in maintaining your grades and of course your attitude, so that there will be no question in the granting of the ESC for each one of you, not just this school year, but of course in the next years to come until you graduate in the junior high school. The ESC grantees required to meet the admission requirements, not just the grade or the scholastic performance, which are of course higher also, set by their chosen school, like our school, the Pleasant Mountain School. So they should also meet the requirements for promotion in its grade level to continue to enjoy the grant. So what is our passing grade? For example, our passing grade is 75. Then if you get the grade of 74, which is of course clearly below the passing grade, then you'll be facing a problem. Okay, so as much as possible, you do your part also as students, because I know that's the only responsibility your parents ask you to do, study your lesson. Tama? Okay, you are not probably given also heavy household chores because they understand you are studying and you must really pay attention to your studies. Okay, next. Okay, let's proceed to the composition of the Regional Program Committee. So starting with the chair of the Department of Education Region 4A. So our regional director is Attorney Alberto T. Escobarte. His co-chair is the PEAC Region 4A Regional Program Director, Ms. Lerma A. Kalinasan. By the way, where will you find the regional offices of the PEAC? In Region 4A, it's located in University of Lyceum in Calamba. Okay, so Laguna. So the members of the Regional Program Committee are the following. So starting with the Department of Education Regional Chief of Quality Assurance and Accountability Division. Second is DepEd Regional Chief of Policy Research and Development Division. And the last but not the least is the PEAC Regional Program Coordinator. What are the highlights of the Education Service Contracting Guidelines? So it's a multi-year guideline effective school year 2018-2019, and it's continued until such time that the school does not qualify or does not get certification anymore. But as long as we pass the standard set by the Department of Education and then the Private Education Assistance Committee, then we can expect that not only you, but probably your younger brothers and sisters, and even your nephews and nieces will still enjoy this discount from the Private Education Assistance Committee, of course, from the Department of Education also. The amounts of the ESC grant and the TSS subsidies shall be subject to approval of the State Assistance Council. The DepEd shall release the appropriate issuance for any changes in the amounts. So for this school year and probably with the previous school years, the ESC subsidies is still 9,000 pesos. It's also a big money, and that helps, of course, your parents lessen the burden of paying your tuition fees. And 18,000 pesos for the teachers, which they receive every end of the school year. Okay, so the requirements for continued ESC participation, first and foremost, is, of course, on our part, we have to attend. Okay, so the orientation held in summer, and the venue is at the Lyceum, University of Lyceum, Batangas, in Calamba, rather. Then we also have the committee here in school that in charge of the screening of the targeted ESC participants like you. So they prepared the profile of the ESC applicants and accepted grantees. This is care of Mrs. Rose Carandang, our school registrar. They also established the selection process in the participating junior high school. Okay, so we also have to open and maintain Land Bank of the Philippines accounts. We have already this Land Bank account since the first time that our school was certified by the PEAC. Okay, so for the ESC grantees. Then we also do the orientation. So for the students, regarding the ESC terms and conditions, legal basis like now, and of course for the teacher's salary also, because it's important that the requirements. Okay, the legal basis. You should not only open your hands and receive this amount, so from the ESC or the PEAC. So we are having now our orientation program. Your attendance is also recorded. Okay, so allow me to give you the background as to when the Pleasant Mount School was certified. So the Pleasant Mount School was granted the PEAC certification status for the educational service contracting of the GASPE program of the Department of Education in December 2017. And this certification is valid until school year 2020-2021. So that was last year. Okay, so our certification rating is 2.67 at that time, based from the old rating scale and compliance status, which means that our school met the provision or condition set by the Private Education Assistance Committee. And for this school year, next slide. The Pleasant Mount School was recertified on July 2022, and PMS got 3 in all core and support areas, giving us a final rating of 3 based from the 2018 Certification Assessment Instrument, or the CAI, decision rule for final rating, with 4 as the highest. Hence, our school was granted again certified status until school year 2024-2025. Okay, so in your case, dear grade 7 learners, this school year is 2022-2023. So you count until 2024-2025. That means that this is until your 4th year in Pleasant Mount School. So you enjoy the amount of 9,000 pesos grant from the PEAC and the Department of Education. Okay, so allow me also to share with you the areas where Pleasant Mount School was evaluated. So for the core areas, we have curriculum, assessment, and instruction, right? So what type of curriculum do we use? Is our curriculum standardized? Is our assessment also standardized? Is our instruction also standardized? Okay. Then from the curriculum, assessment, and instruction, we also have instructional leadership. Okay. How do you find your teacher's teaching style, teaching strategies, right? Academic and non-academic activities that are anchored to the topics that your teachers are providing you or teaching you every now and then. Then the faculty. Okay, so what type of faculty or teaching force do we have in Pleasant Mount School? Are they competent or are they incompetent? Of course, I don't believe that they are incompetent, right? So they went through rigid training in Pleasant Mount School, particularly before the opening of classes, and the school continues to provide them trainings even today. Okay, so we also have our administration and governance. So this consists the core areas. We also have the support areas. What are they? First is academic support and student development services. Second is the physical plant and instructional support facilities of the school. So as you can see, those attending the face-to-face classes, you can see the development each year in Pleasant Mount School. So we have to thank our very able officer in charge, Sir Gustav Sanggalang, for continuously looking at the possible development that he can do to our dear alma mater, the Pleasant Mount School, every year. So we also have the school budget and finances. And the last, for the support areas, we have the institutional planning and development. Okay, so why is there a need for recertification? First, recertification is part of the quality assurance mechanism to ensure that schools are more intentional in continuing institutional improvement. As I was saying a while ago, after the first 4 years that Pleasant Mountain School was certified and that ended last school year 2021, we have to recertify. We have to get another recertification or certification from PEAC because we wanted our parents to enjoy the subsidy that they are getting from them, help them at the same time pay lesser tuition fees to the Pleasant Mountain School. But of course, on our part, for us to be able to get a recertification status, then the PEAC would like to ensure also that we don't also stop improving, right? So in other words, every year, every time that the PEAC will visit us for a recertification status, then we have to make sure also that we are ready, that we also comply with the academic standards that they set for the schools who intend to continuously enjoy the certification status, right? So number two, the ESC certification program aimed at assessing and evaluating the extent of compliance to minimum standards of quality of ESC participating institutions. That's why if there is a school which cannot comply with the requirements set by the PEAC, then this school can expect a revisit, okay, until such time that they will be able to comply with the standards set by the ESC. Of course, in our case, in the Pleasant Mountain School, we don't like them to visit us always or every year. We want them to visit our school after 4 years. But of course, from the first year until the fourth year of a set of years that you are enjoying for your discount and for our teacher salary subsidy, we have to maintain or sustain the standards that they have given us during the time that they have visited, the good grades rather that they have given us the first time that they have visited our school. Okay, so we don't have to be very complacent. We don't have to be very relaxed, dear students, because you are the ones attending your school here, and your parents, I believe, keep reminding you of your responsibilities in school. So you have to take also of these opportunities that are given to all of us, right? That's one way of helping also our government, making you productive and responsible young citizens of the land. Okay. So number three, the main purpose of certification is to determine whether ESC participating private high schools comply with the Department of Education minimum standards and with the criteria established in the Republic Act 8545 of the expanded government assistance to students and teachers in private education, or EGAS below. Okay, so it's not just that they want to go to any junior high school ESC participating school, but because it's also a law. So they have to make a validation if the school continues to exercise or maintain standards in the administration of their instructions to the students. Okay, number four, the certification program also aims to provide an evidence-based procedure in assisting schools to upgrade their educational work in line with the K-12 program standards. Okay, so the first time that we were certified, that the first time that we were applying for a certification, I remember we only had probably 200 documents that they required from us to prepare. But this time, in our recertification, oh my goodness, just to share with you, dear students and parents, they gave us more than 500 documents to prepare. And these documents are all evidence-based documents that they would like to see, right? So it's not easy because just for one document, it requires a lot of thinking. Okay, so it's not just a simple paper that you have to prepare. So all the data contained therein should be something that's based, so from evidences. Okay, so it's not easy, but it does not matter because we want to serve you better, dear students and parents. And of course, it's also one way of helping our teachers. Okay. So what is a revisit? So a revisit is done by the PEAC National Secretariat, which is located in Makati City, to schools that did not pass a certification or recertification visit. So the date of the visit may take place between 1 to 3 years after the visit, depending on the school's overall rating. Okay, so if we will not be able to satisfy, for instance, the certification unit, or the PEAC in one of the core or support areas, then we can expect a revisit from them. But of course, in our case, we're able to pass all the core areas, satisfy the members of the certification committee. That's the reason why they gave us a rating of 3, which is second to the highest. So schools that do not comply with recertification shall lose their ESC certified status and their ESC grade 7 allocation. So it's sad for the schools which were not able to comply with the requirements, because especially for small schools, I know not all parents can go to big schools, right? So the amount of 9,000 is a big help for those who would like to try studying in the private school. Okay, so the maximum allocation for newly participating schools is 50, okay, or 50 slots given to grade 7 students. So as I was saying a while ago, the priority recipients, okay, so for these ESC slots are given to the students who are graduates of the public elementary schools. But if they did not like to go to the private schools like Pleasant Mountain School, then our own graduates will be automatically entitled to receive these slots. Okay, new participating schools may accept transfer in ESC grantees in the upper grade levels if they come or from a junior high school ESC participating schools also. So they will not be granted these slots if they come from a private school which is not, okay, a certified ESC school. Okay, so eligibility. Who is eligible, of course, to enjoy the grant? So elementary graduate from public or DepEd recognized elementary school, incoming grade 7 student. So make sure that you finish your grade 6. You graduated from grade 6 without any problem, then has not been a recipient of the ESC in the previous school years, okay, and Filipino citizen. So may I just tell our group today that the PEAC is working very hard that this ESC grant will not only be given to the junior high school, but also to the elementary learners. So if this will materialize, the grant will not only be enjoyed by our students in the junior high school, but also our students in the elementary level. And with that, our teachers in the elementary department will also receive the TSS. Okay? So they're also working for the TSS in the senior high school. Okay? Sige po. Okay, so the requirements. So you have to download the ESC application form. Okay, so first you have to download the ESC application form, probably from the PEAC office, or I don't know if Mrs. Karandang has provided you already with the ESC application form, which she asked you to sign the time that you were enrolling. Okay, so of course, other than the form that you have to fill up, is, of course, the recent identical 2x2 ID photo. Okay, so 2 copies of that. Then the PSA, or the Philippine Statistics Authority certified birth certificate, and your grade 6 report card. You have to present that. Then school committee evaluates application. I already told you the members of the PMS committee that evaluates the application of the TSS ESC applicants. Then the parents' proof of income or income tax return form 2316 from employer or HR of both parents, or certificate on non-filing of income tax from the BIR, or your human resource if you are working in an office. If you can get it from your employer, I guess the HR provides that. Okay, so I also would like to share with you the amount of ESC grant per grantee. Though you knew already that you're given 9,000, but of course, just to give you an idea. So for grade 7 for schools in the NCR, so they were given 13,000, and this is higher than the one that you received, which is 9,000, right? So for the schools in highly urbanized cities, so this may be cities that are outside NCR. It may be located in the Visayas, right? Or in the Mindanao area, but the schools are considered located in the highly urbanized cities, so they're given 11,000. Okay, for grade 8, it's the same. For grade 9, it's 11,000 in NCR. Then it's 8,500 in highly urbanized cities. And then it's 9,000 in schools in all other locations. For grade 10, it's 11,000 in NCR. Then schools in highly urbanized cities, it's 8,500. And schools in all other locations, it's 9,000 pesos. Okay, so the terms of the ESC grant. So the ESC covers 4 years of junior high school starting from grade 7. Okay, so you have your grade 7 now, then you still have 3 more school years until your grade 10. Okay, so you have your discount, you have your subsidy of 9,000 for grade 7, another 9,000 for grade 8, another 9,000 for grade 9, and another 9,000 for grade 10. Number 2, the grant remains in force for the next school year on the following conditions. If the grantee is promoted to the next grade level, right? So if you are in grade 7, then you have failing grades or you are not promoted for grade 8, then your grant will be what? Ano mangyayari doon? Oh, mawawala siya. Tama? So you have to maintain your grade 7, your good grades. Then you must be enrolled in an ESC participating junior high school. Next, ma'am. Number 3, the grant is terminated if a grantee does any one of the following. First, the grantee drops out for non-health reasons in the middle of the school year. Wala lang, di ba? So the reason may be considered not valid, right? So then does not re-enroll the following school year. Okay, for what reason also? Then 3, fails to be promoted to the next grade level or is retained at the same grade level. So next is suspended for more than 2 weeks, dismissed or expelled by the school for disciplinary reasons. So you have to be mindful also, dear learners, of your behavior, because you may be in this scenario if you don't observe proper behavior, right? So in the school. Then transfer to a non-ESC participating junior high school. So you have to remember all these conditions, ano? And for you to be able to enjoy the ESC grant. Okay? Number 4, transfer to another ESC participating junior high school are allowed. So in cases when the applicable subsidy amount of the releasing school is different from that of the accepting school, then the accepting school will be paid the lower of the two applicable subsidy amounts. For example, an ESC grantee or recipient comes from the NCR school, which is given 13,000 as the amount of subsidy in grade 7 or in grade 8, for example, then transfers to another ESC school outside NCR, and it's not considered highly urbanized, located in highly urbanized cities. So in our case, for example, he prepares our school. What we give is 9,000 pesos. Then from 13,000, so he will only be given the 9,000 amount of the subsidy. Okay, so looking at this last phrase or sentence in this paragraph, the accepting school will be paid the lower of the two applicable subsidy amounts. So that should be clear. So if you were given 13,000 in the NCR school, then you transferred to the Pleasant Mount School, which is outside NCR. Okay, so from 13,000, your grant will be lowered to 9,000 because that was the amount that was determined to our school. Okay, number 5, grantees who drop out due to death of a parent or guardian, force majeure, such as calamity, disaster, tragedy, act of God, prolonged illness, or accident. Okay, so may be reinstated into the ESC program provided they submit documents to support their claim. For example, you encounter was that calamity in your area or disaster in your area, right? Then you have to probably coordinate with the local government providing you this document, right, for the ESC to continue or to reinstate you was that into the ESC program. For example, remember what happened to Marawi City, right? So where they bombed almost all parts of the city. So all businesses were shut down. All offices, organizations, industries were closed. Okay, so that's one very good example, right? So that's why I remember there were many students from Marawi City at the height of the bombing, in the area. They transferred to Manila, right? Okay. 6, since the ESC subsidy is equivalent to 9,000 pesos of the school's tuition fee, the school may withhold the grades and credentials of ESC grantees with incomplete ESC requirements. Okay, so that's stated in enrollment contract number 2. That's why you have to comply with all the requirements. Mrs. Karandang will be reminding you about these requirements from time to time. But of course, don't wait until the time that you are to finish, okay? So your particular year, and that might cause you not to be given the slot in the following year. So just make sure that you also spend time to complete the requirements that are required. So not just by the PEAC, but also by the school. So they are important requirements that support. Okay, so that are required of us, and that will also be checked. These requirements will also be checked by the PEAC certification committee members. Okay, so does PEAC have also subsidy in the senior high school after completing junior high school? What's the answer? Yes, so it's a big yes, right? So the subsidy is not only enjoyed by the students in the junior high school. You can still enjoy another subsidy when you go to the senior high school for your grades 11 and 12. And this subsidy is known as the Senior High School Voucher Program. So it is a program of financial assistance like the ESC, okay, wherein subsidies in the form of vouchers are provided to qualified senior high school learners in participating private or non-DepEd public schools. Okay? Sorry. Okay, next one. Who qualifies for DepEd senior high school vouchers? So the grade 10 completers from the private school who are ESC grantees are automatically qualified for the senior high school voucher program. The grade 10 completers from the Department of Education public schools, and then the grade 10 completers from state universities and colleges and local universities and colleges, right? Okay. Sige po, ma'am. Next slide. Okay, I guess that ended my presentation about the ESC grants, terms and conditions. I guess we can open our question and answer for our parents and students and even some teachers if you have clarifications po. And I guess our very able officer in charge is also with us in case I'll not be able to answer some of your questions. He is with us to help me, I guess, answer also your questions. Sir Gustav, good afternoon po. Are you with us, sir? Is Sir Gustav with us? Mhm. Sige po. Pwede na po. Sige.
Thank you, Sir Sadikan. We also have Mrs. Jen Michael to facilitate our question and answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Ira. So again, we thank you, Sir Sadikan, for a very informative talk about ESC guidelines. You didn't just give the guidelines, but of course, a little bit background of ESC and the school. How can school get certification from PEAC? All right. Now, parents and students, I now open the floor for your questions and clarifications. Anyone wanted to ask, or maybe you're still confused? Just raise your hand. You can click the raise hand button. Or maybe if you're shy to talk, you may use or let us utilize the chat box for your questions. This is our opportunity or the chance for us to ask anything that can not really understandable. Anyone? Okay, I think they're still looking for the question to ask. So if you have questions, you may also use our chat box. Type your questions in there. Wow, I think Sir Sadikon already did his job to explain everything clear, no? Kasi wala tayong question from parents. Okay, we are still waiting for your questions. Sa mga students natin, representative ng kanilang parents, baka may mga question po kayo or naguguluhan.
Maiko, pagod na po yata sila. Okay lang po. Pero of course,
All
I'm
right.
very happy for their presence this afternoon. I know
Yes,
that
sir.
they are busy. Students are also tired because they just came from the school and they were only given probably a few minutes and not to take a rest and attend to our orientation this afternoon. But in case they don't have questions yet, then you are free to give your questions to your advisors, and I guess the advisors can coordinate to me the questions, and we can answer your questions through email probably or messenger also. Ano po? So while the parents probably are still thinking of some questions that they would like to ask, I also would like to take this opportunity, Ma'am Maiko, the rest of our teachers, to extend our warmest appreciation also for the continued support that you are extending to the Pleasant Mount School in all in all kinds of endeavor, particularly this. So thank you so much for God bless everyone. And
Thank
may
you
I
so
also
much
remind
po.
our students that we don't have classes on Monday. It's August 29. It's National Heroes Day. So if you don't have any question, happy weekend, everyone. Good afternoon and God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir Sidikon. I will not give the floor to Mom Ira for our program.
All right, so we're done with our orientation today. On behalf of the school administrator, faculty, and staff, we would like to express our gratefulness to our parents and students for attending this orientation today. Your time and effort in participating in this orientation are very much appreciated. So this is also a good opportunity to thank our students who continued their grade 7 here. We truly appreciate that you stay with us. We would also like to thank our new students for choosing the Pleasant Mount School and of course the parents for entrusting us, your children. Let us continue working together for a better quality education for the students of the Pleasant Mount School. Once again, thank you and have a great weekend, everyone. If you don't have questions anymore, clarification, you may now leave the meeting. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you po.
Happy weekend po. Bye. Salamat po.
Thank you, grade 7. Bye, Madison.
Thank you po. See you po.
Bye, Jason. Bye. See you. Andun po. Katabi po mami niya. Bye, Jet. Bye, Nathan. Malalim kasi sir. Yes, malalim po. Bye, Christian.